Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show. This is probably one of the more odder of the podcasts because
100%.
I'm doing it from my bed. Don't worry.
And I'm doing it from a couch.
Yeah, don't worry. Ken's not in the bed with me. I was going to say, but, you know, I have a pretty slick setup here. I have my laptop on my lap. I have my microphone on a stool, which will probably fall over. It's been held up by a lump of change I've been collecting since I was 16, tied down.
A lump of change?
Yeah, tied down with a tie that I usually wear to go to funerals.
Oh, Jesus.
And you know what? I'm quite comfy. Do you know this is probably isn't as comfy as the couch that I'm accustomed to, but I don't know why. Since I'm recording in the same building, why I didn't just set it up the way I normally do. Just be a little bit lonely in the sitting room alone. I think.
It would have been too easy.
Would have been too easy. Yeah, I have a lot of spare time in my hands these days. There's not a lot to do, so you just basically set up do different things in different rooms. Like cook my dinner in the bathroom, or like have a shower in the back garden. I don't know. Just trying out a few different things. Do a podcast in my bedroom.
I think there's laws against showering in your back garden.
Is there? It's probably for the best. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, definitely for the best.
Yeah. So, how is your kind of isolation week going?
I'm fairly shite, because I still have to go to work, so I'm not very isolated.
Yeah, well, I work in a van with sometimes 3 other people, so keeping 2 meters distance is impossible. Even if there's like just 2 people in a van, it's pretty much impossible to keep 2 meters distance from a van. And plus, last few weeks has been like 5 degrees temperature, so the windows
huddling
are
together for body warmth.
Yeah, the huddling together for body warmth. The windows are up, the heating's on, and we were told just drive around with the windows down, so you're not circulating air. I was like, oh yeah, maybe try to stick my head out the window as well while I'm driving along.
Is this the same van that went on fire?
No, we retired that one. That was just bad luck. Yeah, it's been a strange week. Before last week, we were saying we'll probably have to do the podcast from separate houses next time. I didn't think it was an overreaction, but I thought it was probably for the best, because you shouldn't be seen to breaking social distance rules.
Yeah,
such on the podcast. But now, even just every week, it seems to have got drastically worse, where it's probably for the best. We did this over the phone call now this week.
Yeah, I think last week was the one that we were kind of we should definitely start just keeping away from each other.
Yeah, exactly, because I consider myself quite high risk, because I'm interacting with various different people, cleaning inside sometimes cabs of trucks, touching dirty trucks and all the such. I'd cast myself and having to sit in a van with 3 other lads, most of the time different lads every time. So I consider myself kind of risky enough as a person to be hanging around with in general. So I thought,
yeah. And
then you saying that you're in contact with probably 1,000 people a week. You said
1,000 people a day.
A day. So yeah. I think both of us we're quite high risk. The fact that we're meeting in a house is by putting a lot of people off that house. Even though we took all the safety measures we could, we cleaned their hands and we
had a little air sanitizer thing.
Yeah, that kills all bacteria in the air. So we were pretty safe, reckon. But even still, we took it one step further, and now I'm doing it quite comfortably from my bed.
I hope you're at least wearing clothes.
I'm going to leave that up for the viewers with their own little dirty minds. So generally what we do is we talk about stuff weird stories that we find in the news.
Yeah.
Pretty much just coronavirus. So I think I'll start today's episode because we do have coronavirus stuff for people who want their daily fix of what we think of the coronavirus. They come to all sorts of places. You're running out of spots when you come to the Shite podcast show for
Coronavirus information.
Yeah, so if you're listening to the last podcast, I was saying I was getting a PS4. I've got that PS4.
How's that going?
I realized I'm not too into like games anymore. Like I'm not really into like I don't like challenges. I like strategy games. But like things where you have to figure shit out, I'm not a huge fan of. Like that Batman game. Where
do you not like it?
I do like it. Like I like the action sequence. I don't like how I spend a large part of the game not knowing what the fuck to do, and there's not really too much clues there that you have to kind of figure it out on your own. You're like, I don't want to figure it out. I want to be spoon fed information and told what to do, so I feel like I figured it out on my own anyway.
You can use that. You can use that like bat vision thing.
I know that does help, but like, you know the Riddler thing. There's a part where you have to navigate your way around this like kind of. You have to light up different things and other things go away and there's that bit, and then there was another bit where you had to break through a wall, but couldn't figure out the wall. You had to get the Batmobile, and I was like, what do I do now? There's nothing here to do with the Batmobile. I can't do it on with Batman. And I started to go into YouTube, watch the video that I watched anyway.
Yeah.
Because before I downloaded this game, like because I am really into comic books, I'd previously, like a few months ago, I'd watched the whole 3-hour Batman Arkham Knight movie. Someone had pieced it together as a movie. It's like over 3.5 hours. I watched the entire thing. So first of all, I'm playing the game already knowing the storyline.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, it's definitely diminished the enjoyment of like figuring out what's next when you actually do. But still, I'm enjoying playing as Batman pretending to be Spider-Man.
Pretending to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, like you spend 90% of the game swinging from rooftops. That's not
upside
Batman.
Down.
Yeah, that's not Batman. You can actually also hang upside down. I don't like a bat, but that's something Spider-Man does. I've never seen Batman hang upside down.
He's done it once or twice.
Yeah, I wish there was a scene where you interrogate someone and you have pushed them off the building. You have the bat rope on them, and then you pull them up. That'd be cool.
That would be quite cool.
But I don't think that's in the game. So.
Did you get Red Dead?
No, I didn't get Red Dead. I kind of like there was a sale on the Arkham games. So you got 3 games for
3 games for 40 quid or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting through them. I'm like 10% through Batman, the first one. So
yeah,
I'm gonna make my way through those 3 Batmans. It'll probably take me 2 years, and then I'll get Red Dead, or else I'll get fed up with Batman and I'll get Red Dead.
Yeah, it's the best game ever.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's GTA for westerns.
Yeah, it's just class.
Yeah, I've kind of figured that that'll be another game where you have to figure shit out.
Not really.
Not really?
Not really.
That's good.
You can kind of just shoot most things and it sorts it out.
Yeah, I also downloaded a rugby game, and like because it's the only ball sport game that I actually watch, and I bought this game that knows less about the rules of rugby than I do. They definitely need to watch that Links ad. Remember the one with the hot girls who are all greased up that teach you what a ruck is?
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the offside rule is. They don't know what a high tackle is. There's a lot about the weird about the game that like even a person who doesn't really know the sport can like point out like, oh, that's illegal. Well, that's illegal. Well, that's not legal. So it's to create a game without actually knowing the rules. And I was wondering kind of like if it was a US or maybe like a Chinese or Japanese based gaming company that designed this game and didn't fully know what the rules of rugby were, and kind of just winged it by Wikipedia in it.
More than likely.
Or if they were developing a rugby game, they'd send it over to a country that like Ireland or the UK or Australia, where they know, like, pretty much everyone working there will know pretty offhand what the rules of rugby are and can develop a game that people who play the sport or watch the sport will be able to enjoy. Surely that would make more sense.
Yeah, or just like develop it in that country.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's really weird. None of the players look like anything like any of the players. It's really weird. There's like 6 or 7 different like characters, and they play on every single team. Like there's a tiny like if you close your eyes and just imagine, Johnny Sexton's kind of looks like Johnny Sexton, but he's the poster boy for the entire game. so it's really bad. Apparently, a lot of the ball sport games are very, very glitchy. They were all rushed. That's kind of what we're talking to a lot of people. I know
of FIFA and stuff. Like they just try to rush one out every year, kind of like Call of Duty. Like it's just rush.
Well, they know they'll get the fans to buy it. Everyone wants it, even though like maybe a player change, the jersey slightly changes.
Yeah.
I know the big thing for like FIFA was Ronaldo going to an Italian club. So I wonder in the career mode, does like Ronaldo get the coronavirus? Or the season have to be suspended because of the coronavirus?
I wouldn't say so.
It'd be hilarious and very up to date if they did. If they had programmers working through it tonight to program like a coronavirus shutdown of the season.
Comes in an update.
Yeah. It might come in an update, yeah. Your season has to be set ends because there's a worldwide pandemic. Continue to next season, and your club had to continue paying millions and millions of euros to players to stay at home or to have coronavirus.
That'd be a very boring game.
Yeah, it would actually. Just like fast forward the season, it's still suspended. 2 of your top strikers have the coronavirus and have to sit out.
Yeah. Ronaldo has died.
He had an underlying medical condition no one knew about. Yeah, so it'd be kind of weird. I don't know, like none of the game's controls change season to season. Like, surely it should be very minor updates that they have to make to the game in order to bring out for each year. Isn't like they have to reinvent the wheel. Like maybe a stadium changes slightly, maybe a player ages slightly. Like
it's just kind of skin changes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like surely they have a lot of the molds. Maybe like new players they might have to bring in and like scan. I remember watching Pro Skater. They're showing behind the scenes of making Pro Skater. Before like they're doing like 3D scans of all the skateboarders, so they kind of look like each other.
Yeah.
So maybe you do that. Surely with today's technology, you should be able to do it with like a photograph.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You probably still need to
scan them.
Maybe scan them. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
UFC game, they still scan them and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's like maybe 30 odd athletes that are in this game.
Yeah.
So like that wouldn't be major. Imagine for the Premier League, or there's not even Premier League, just FIFA, where you have like load of different fucking clubs all over the world. The idea of scanning like 30 people on each team, and every team that's in football and international teams, will be a massive task.
You'd probably just do the most popular.
Yeah, exactly. The big teams, they all, like Ronaldo would look like Ronaldo, and like Messi would look like Messi, but everyone else,
it's just Joe Blogs looks like whatever.
They look like standard issue person. I remember I played a rugby game on the 360, a World Cup rugby game, and one of the Irish players, his second name was Farrell, but he was black in the game, but he played for Ulster. It's like how wrong did they get that?
Did you ever look him up? Maybe he is black.
No, he isn't. He fully isn't. Something Farrell. I can't think of his name. Is he even Farrell? Could be something else. Something with F anyway. So anyway, so that's been my life, just giving out about PlayStation games. These are probably old gripes to people. I'm sure like the FIFA 20 that probably just came out. That's probably a gripe that a lot of people have with games. Very glitchy.
Yeah.
And maybe the rubby one is, but I'm sure people have forgotten about Batman. I think that released back in 2014, 2013.
Yeah, it's a while ago now.
Yeah, people have forgotten about that game. So like,
Pretty good game though.
oh yeah, it really is. I've enjoyed the kind of fight sequences, and a lot of the kind of combat sequences are pretty good. And swinging from rope is pretty cool as well.
And the voice acting's really good as well.
Yeah, exactly. They got great actors to play it. Like, Luke Skywalker plays the Joker.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
It's basically the cast of the animated series. Remember the animated series when you were a kid?
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, he's probably the best Joker. Arguably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think he ever got to play him in a live action.
No.
That's unfortunate.
I don't think he'd suit him in a live action. He's a bit too short.
No, he'd be a good Riddler. But but not a Joker. No, well, I thought he was in maybe the Flash series as like a bad guy, but I don't think he was. Should we move on to our stories?
Yeah, fire away.
So this week I kind of was looking at a few stories where different leaders, like this pandemic that we're in now, is unprecedented. So different leaders have responded to it differently, and some of them there's been a lot of funny kind of like tweets and announcements by different world leaders around the world. So I go through a few of my favorite, and maybe I was thinking after all this is said and done, we should have the like Shite Talk Awards for people who said the most dumbest shit possible during this crisis. Like the English chief medical officer said wanted a herd immunity. It's like, no, we're going to leave everything open and just let it run through the community and see how we get on. And like every other medical professional was like, that's a bad idea. I don't want to criticize your Atten, but everyone else is not doing that. And then he, like a week later, he's like, we're not doing that. Everything's closed. Everything's on lockdown. So I think he would, or that basketball player who touched all the mics when he was trying to convince everyone that he didn't have coronavirus, and then turned out he did. And every journalist was like, you are a massive dick. Like I think we should have awards of like the biggest cunts or the biggest gobshites during this coronavirus outbreak.
We'll probably have to go with gobshites. Gobshites just kind of fits in with the Shite Talk philosophy.
We could call them the gobshites award. You know, like IFTAs or the BAFTAs
or the Shites.
The Shites, yes. And I think we got a lot of candidates for the Shites, our new awards ceremony that we're going to be doing this week. So I'm going to start.
We're going to be doing this week.
These people are definitely could be in the nominations anyway. So Donald Trump was kind of the first person I was going to talk about.
Right.
Because he wants to stop the kind of lockdown in America. He says America isn't built for being shut down. It's built for being open and being business. So he wants to stop the kind of lockdown by April 12th, which is Easter. So he says, like, after Easter, everything's back on track. Reopen everything.
Right.
And the former head of Goldman Sachs, he also is like fully agreeing with this. He's called out. He said like everyone needs to go back to work. I think he wants to go back nearly almost straight away. But he's agreeing with the president where he says like we should open back as soon as possible. And then like some of his advisors like Arthur Laffer and Stephen Moore. I don't think that's the film director though.
You never know. Could be.
Who are also like in his ear about reopening, because like apparently it's forecast the second quarter of the year the GDP is going to drop by 30%, which is worse than the recession that we just passed. It's almost as bad as the Great Depression. So like it's going to drop massive percentage. Like during the recession, Ireland dropped by 6%.
Yeah.
I think like Italy alone, like it's dropped by 10% already, and it's expected to drop further. And I think Ireland's it's going to be something similar as Italy. They're expecting about 10% drop in GDP for the second quarter of this year for Ireland as well. So it's like everyone's economy's been hit pretty hard. So if you're like a financial advisor, or if you're doing anything with banks, or you're a businessman, that like having the country shut down is a huge, big pain in the head for you. So that's why these guys wanted to shut down. But pretty much every other medical expert said like April 12th in America, it's going to be like a lot worse, a lot worse. And basically,
definitely,
you'd
yeah.
be reopening it when when a lot more people have it, and which would increase the amount of people contracting it, which would put a lot of pressure on the hospitals, which would cause a huge spike in the amount of cases that there is, and the amount of people that would die. And then the country would still have to go into lockdown again because of all the people dying, and the economy would be even worse affected. So basically they're like cure to fixing the basic economy is open it earlier so more people die and the economy gets worse. So I don't really know. Like it's coming on to election year. How he handles it could like determine whether he gets elected or not. Like,
yeah, like it's all up in the air for him. Like this is his way. Like this is his chance to kind of prove that he should be re-elected, or prove that he shouldn't be re-elected. Really.
yeah, because like if you think about like in the Irish situation, we would just pass. We were just basically through an election, where a left government like steamrolled elections. If you think about like Sinn Féin was the largest party, if they just didn't have enough candidates, they're definitely the number one party in the election. Then you had a huge uptake from left parties because of like Sinn Féin's overflow, and you're probably just as much chance of getting like a left government into Ireland as we were Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, the party that's been controlling the countries for 100 years. And now after this coronavirus, I think like the opinion polls about Fine Gael are going to be way up there. I'd say that like because of the way like Fine Gael have handled this situation, I'd say like they'd probably be now the most popular party in the country right now.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I think like Donald Trump and Boris Johnson, his twin. I say like they've handled this situation so.
Johnson's twin.
They're very like in personality as well, like
and hair
and hair. Like it's mostly the hair and the fact that you wonder how they got into this position. How were they at a point in their lives where they could run for this position?
How did that happen?
Yeah. Like those two people like have handled this situation pretty badly so far. Like I know they're probably not being advised by the most brightest people. We've already talked about the English health, whatever his title is.
Chief Medical Officer.
The Chief Medical Officer. Yeah, we always talked about him. So it's kind of. This could actually be the thing that cripples them. You remember in the previous U.S. election where they were talking about like grabbing by the pussy, and like he just walked through that. He's like, yeah, I said it. Next, try to get me again, and everything that like even the sexual assault, the Me Too movements, the fact that that prostitute came out and said like dress up. He wanted him to dress up as his daughter, her as his daughter.
What?
Yeah, like you know that girl who wrote the book about him. I was found out that like he over in Russia there's that huge scandal in the press where I don't know what her name was, but he basically like paid a prostitute allegedly now to dress up as his daughter. This is allegedly, but like he did pay this girl to have sex with him. And yeah, I think he was trying to use like I think government funds. I think was one of the reasons why it was so like was so frowned upon. So
That's fucked up.
yeah. So like, this was a huge story, and like he like that didn't sink him. Like nothing like everything that he's done. Even though he hasn't built a wall, he's basically took like medical care away from everybody, and like people in the worst parts of America, the poorest parts of America, have been probably most affected, and they're still his stronghold. But like,
Yeah.
I think this could be the thing that like cripples him, like him not taking it seriously, and a pandemic like Americans never seen before.
Sure, isn't he still shaking hands with people and stuff?
Yeah, so it's like Boris Johnson should be actually on this list as well, because like a few weeks ago he was talking about he went into like meet people who had caught the coronavirus in England.
And he shook hands with everyone.
Yeah, he was bragging about this. He's like, "Oh yeah," and I shook everyone's hand because that's a presidential thing to do. I shook, and then Donald Trump came out with a similar. I'm a president. The presidential thing to do is shake people's hands, like, like fast forward 2 weeks, and now saying I was just shaking hands with corona patients, people who have the coronavirus. It's kind of like saying I had unprotected sex with like AIDS patients and continue to have sex with other people. like, like that's what basically Boris Johnson has done. I've shook other people's hands and then I shake their hands. Like the fact that he didn't actually catch the coronavirus after shaking all these people's hands, he must have like ordered them to be sterilized before he shook their hands and then washed his hands straight after.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's his name? Prince Charles has it now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's fucked. If he has it, he's dead.
He announced it today. Yeah, he has coronavirus.
Jesus. Yeah, so maybe that's why, like, and like London, they call it lockdown, but it's not really lockdown.
Yeah, because they're still allowed to do stuff.
They're still allowed to go to work, so it's not really. It's basically what we have. They're calling lockdown, but I think the ones like they feel like they're taking control of it, so they're taking more extreme measures. So instead of actually taking in extreme measures, they've took in what everyone else is doing, but they give it the extreme title. that's England's lockdown. It's just like, yeah, we're just going to give it an extreme title, so it makes like we're doing stuff, but we're really not going to do anything, and we're
just going to do what everybody else is doing.
We're just going to do what everybody else is doing, and whatever they do next, we'll do next.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's pretty much it. Harvey Weinstein actually has it as well.
I've seen that, yeah.
While we're on the topic of like famous people, so I remember I was reading a lot of the comments, and people were like, "Oh, I hope he pulls through it, so he can live a long life in prison." So, but like, if he has it, then every single member of that prison probably has it as well.
Oh yeah, anybody who comes in contact with him, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the prison officers are probably going to catch it from him. Imagine he's not the most hygienic person in prison.
I wouldn't imagine so. I seen here on the news, like, Idris Elba has come out to speak against a conspiracy theory where people are saying that celebrities are paid to say that they have contracted coronavirus. And Idris Elba's like, no, that's a lie.
Well, Idris Elba, if you've been paid to say that, like, you have coronavirus, you would then come out to deny the rumor that you've been paid to have coronavirus. Like, that's not really helping people conspiracy theories case. But he'd be a bad example. Like, he's a bad poster boy because Idris Elba is the person everyone points to think like this is fine. They're like, oh look, Idris Elba has it, and like he's fine. He looks great, and like that was like he got tested before he had any symptoms.
Maybe that's what the purpose of the conspiracy theory is.
Yeah, like a lot of people I hear about talking about Idris Elba, it's like, oh, it's fine. Idris Elba has it and he looks great. Like, this is nothing. I think he'd probably, even though he came out and said like he has it, like, so he's trying to like say that it was so easily contactable, or so everyone needs to take this serious. Everyone looked at him and gone, wow, he's fine. He looks great. Like I I want whatever he's having. I'll have some of this coronavirus. He looks great. I wish I looked like that. So like, I think I don't think necessarily he like what his intended message was got across, and said a lot of people are looking to him and going, "Ah, he looks fine. Like it's
Yeah.
not bad at all." So like, I think he's not a great. Like if I was paying people to like say that they had coronavirus, I was like, make yourself look sick. Like maybe have a puke bucket. Yeah, like don't like. I know you've dressed in like your sweaters, but like maybe like I don't know, put like a ice pack over your head, a thermometer in your mouth. You're an actor. Roll with this. Like I definitely wouldn't be impressed by their role playing skills of being like deadly ill. If this was a big kind of like hoax of celebrities.
Would you pay Tom Hanks to say he had it?
Why was Tom Hanks is good? Was it?
I don't know. Like Tom Hanks has it apparently.
Tom Hanks is a good person to have because everyone has a soft spot for Tom Hanks. I'm not saying they don't have a soft spot for like Idris Elba, but like Tom Hanks is Woody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like Woody has the coronavirus. It's like it's killing your childhood right there.
He does this thing. Don't know if you ever seen him talk about this in an interview. He does this thing where if a parent points out to a child that that's Woody, and obviously the kid is like, nah, he doesn't look like Woody. He tells the kid to like close their eyes and talks to them like Woody, and then he says the kids to be like, holy fuck, it is actually Woody.
I thought you were gonna say like he has Andy written on his shoe.
No, he just gets the kid to close their eyes and he talks to them.
Yeah, he wears like those like cowboy boots.
He does like a Superman transformation.
Yeah. Well, they just walk around
Walks-
generally in cowboy boots that has Andy on one of his shoes. You go, see, I have Andy on my shoe. Be less convincing than actually talking like the character. Yeah, so I think moving on to different countries because that's the US. So that's just I think that's just like standard Trump at this stage. Like you kind of expect him to act like that.
Yeah.
The Italy now. Well, I learned something new about Italy. Apparently, like different regions have presidents, and I'm great at pronouncing names. So this is going to go.
The only thing better than your maths is your name pronunciation.
Yeah, especially when it's like a foreign language. So I'll go. So this guy is the president of the Campania region, and his name is Luca. His surname is Lucas Del Luca. I'm not going to even try his first name. Anyway, so he's basically come out and he's kind of pissed off with people having graduation parties or having get-togethers and saying this is serious. And his way of combating this thing is he started threatening people that he's going to bring police armed with flamethrowers to people's graduation parties. So two things struck me about this. One, what are people graduating from? Everything's meant to be shut down.
Yeah.
So I think whoever wrote this article didn't do the best with Google Translate. And you know how like certain things just don't translate properly. I don't think it was a graduation that he was threatening people not to go to. Maybe it was just like a house party. But in the article, he says, I'm getting news that some people are throwing graduation parties. We will send police with flamethrowers. Just imagine you're having to get together at your house. Maybe it's Mother's Day. I doubt you're graduating from mine, but maybe you're graduating from something. You open the door to a police holding a flamethrower.
Get your fucking eyebrows burned off.
Shouting, 2 meters apart. Who lives here? You don't all live here. But like, it's certainly an escalation of things, but surely killing people with flamethrowers is probably worse than just like people getting sick of coronavirus.
It's a bit overkill.
Then there's another mayor was given out about either mobile hairdressers or people getting people in to do their hair. and he was saying that uh, getting mobile hairdryers, what the fuck? And he went on to say, "Do you understand that the casket will be closed? Who the fuck is supposed to even see your hair do when you're dead?" So like he was getting angry about people getting their hair done. As you see, like they're obviously at their wits' end. Like you have to feel it for these presidents of these different regions of Italy who have been given this message about social isolation for a long time, and obviously people like aren't meant to be apart from other people or pack animals and keep like getting together and like trying to like just meet other people and just generally be in contact and spread their germs. So like they're probably at their wits' end. So you can just see his frustration through that, where he's like saying the casket will be closed. Who the fuck is meant to see your hair cut?
Is he like? Are they getting their hair like?
Obviously, there's been reports of like hairdressers and barbers going around people's houses, doing the family's hair. Like they would live, like Italy. They'd all like might be 3 generations in the house.
Yeah,
You'll have the grandmother maybe living with the son, or grandparents living with the son and their kids. So there'll be a lot of people in houses. So imagine like you go over their house, there could be like 6 people in the house. So like hairdressers, barbers could make a few £100 off like a house call. Like with
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so like he's basically just got pissed off about people's hair. And then there's another person from Italy, who's also one of the mayors. I imagine this guy has just seen I Am Legend. So this is the mayor of Reggio, or Eggio, Reggio. I hope there's no Italian listeners to hear. There's just like spinning in the chair. Like this is not even a good like English attempt at translation of these words.
You're just screaming at you now, right now.
Reggio could be it, or I don't know. Rigo could be another attempt at it. I don't know. And he said he used to telling people that they're not Will Smith, and this is not
Will Smith.
He goes, "You are not Will Smith. This is not I Am Legend."
Why does he sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
You have to go home. This is my Italian accent. Italy has been locked down for 2 weeks. A number of cases have started to skyrocket, particularly in the north. So obviously, Rigo is in the north of Italy. So and like he wants people to just go home, stick on Netflix, watch I Am Legend. It's a pretty good movie. Is his recommendation? Like
you are not Will Smith.
Yeah. Like I think like that could be put on a T-shirt. You are not Will Smith. This is not I Am Legend.
We should get T-shirts made up.
Yeah, you are not Will Smith. This is not I Am Legend. Go the fuck home.
Yeah.
Don't get your hair cut. Yeah, but I thought that was quite funny. Like Italy's presidents are starting to probably saying like their parents, like they just get really fed up of telling them the same thing, like wash your hands, come home, stop staying out late with your friends, like stop getting your hair cut, it's too expensive, and you're giving the hairdresser coronavirus. So I think they're at the wit's end, but I think the person who will take biscuit this week and probably lead for nominations is a leader in England, and it isn't Boris Johnson. In actual fact, he's actually making Boris Johnson look quite good.
Jesus.
Which is quite hard to do. So
who is it?
It's the mayor of London. So Sadiq Khan. So basically, a number of train operators for the underground like tram system they have got sick because like that tram system is basically coronavirus walking on legs. Like, you cram everybody as much people as you can into like a train, and then just slowly let people off and back on. Where like a disease is airborne and transmitted through people touching their hands and touching objects. Like, that's the train session is just a breeding ground for that.
Yeah.
So he's come into like criticism after he reduced the number of trains. Now, way I heard the story off people was he reduced the number of trains because he wanted to cut down the amount of people using the trains. So his logic would have been that, like, if I take more trains away, the less people will get trains because their train's no longer gone. And what in fact happened was just more people went onto the either train before or train after. But I think what's actually happening is the fact that the operators are getting sick and there isn't enough people to then operate the trains.
Yeah.
And now, because he has reduced the number of trains instead of just cancelling the service altogether, he's basically, the TfL are now 2 times more likely of getting sick than frontline workers. So doctors,
Jesus.
nurses, ambulance crew, you're more likely to get like coronavirus if you work in the tram system, or if you just generally actually get in that train. You are 3 times more likely to get coronavirus than people who are actually on the front line, going into hospitals, dealing with patients who basically are on it. So the Mail Online, basically, they said at rush hour today in London, there was only one train for every 20 minutes when there should be, I think, 5 in that time.
Yeah, there's like a subway thing or train or whatever, like every 3 or 4 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think 1 in 3 TfL staff are now ill or self-isolating because they are showing symptoms or they have the coronavirus. And they are now the larger of numbers drivers who are getting sick, and actually workers who are trying to go from basically their home to work are also at an increased risk of actually getting like the coronavirus from just getting on the train. So he's single-handedly
Increase the number of cases.
Yeah, increase the number of cases. Well, I think Boris Johnson said he is not. He's not blaming, and we shouldn't either. While we're there, so he can on actually deliberately or doing this on purpose, or and said like he's going to give him every resource in order to resolve this problem, and said that. But he did say, like, the train system could have been operated a far better way than like reducing train numbers. I think they should just cancel the whole entire tram system, underground tram system. Like, it's public transport. If you're in lockdown, you shouldn't have a need for public transport.
Yeah.
I know some people might say that like nurses and doctors might use the tram to get to and from work, and maybe like the NHS can like get buses for them and stuff like that. Other workers, you could get a bus for nurses that drop them home. Surely you could just use the buses that are out of service to like pick up frontline staff and bring them home.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, surely, like if you've seen the pictures, obviously I know like we get a lot of people from the US and we get a lot of people from around the world. But if they just Google pictures of the trams that are currently going, especially if you have any cases, or if you're an Italian watching like these underground train systems and how much people are on this, you'd be fucking shocked. Or if you're Chinese, or if you're in any case where it's like severe lockdown, like, it is ridiculous. Like, you could not squeeze another person into those trains if you tried.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I was like, it's really, really bad. So Simon Cannon is kind of under a lot of fire now. Obviously, he's only the mayor of London, so like he doesn't operate the TfL, but he does have the power to either shut it down or advise like a better strategy and reducing numbers of trains. And he actually came out and said that he's actually going to reduce the trains even further.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the reason why he's probably going to get a nomination for a Shite.
For a Shite. Yeah, we'll give him a nomination.
Yeah, I think the only Irish nomination I can think of was the Minister for Health, Simon Harris, who said something along for dentists, like if they have patient comes in to examine them for I think a chest infections.
For give them a respiratory exam. Yeah,
Give them a respiratory exam because a dentist and a doctor are the exact same people, and then if he expects them of having like the coronavirus, send them home or send them to a doctor, tell them to self isolate. I thought that was like a little bit retarded.
Yeah, like dentists don't have the know how to test for a respiratory infection at all.
Yeah, or have any training on it. Like that conspiracy of people telling them to hold their breath for 10 seconds. Whereas TV reporters out of 10 minutes. It'd be very impressive if there's a person who'd be able to hold it for 10 minutes. I was just going on and say another one of the big stories around Ireland in terms of the coronavirus was McDonald's shutting down. I think they closed all their stores around Europe. Now, you're a massive fan of McDonald's.
I am.
Because I know one of your post-podcast treats is to go to McDonald's.
You're not supposed to let that one out of the bag.
Oh shit! You're gonna have like fans at McDonald's when it reopens, like it's waiting for you. But did you make it to McDonald's before it closed?
You see, I have this issue with when places announce they're going to close. You get like just a massive queue. Like, yeah, I like McDonald's. I generally have McDonald's after we finish recording the podcast or whatever. But if I get to McDonald's and there's a fucking 6 mile queue, I'm not going to go. Like, it's not going to bother me that I don't get one.
Yeah, like the only thing about that McDonald's, one in Nace anyway, we're talking about how to keep. I imagine all around the country was the exact same thing as Nace.
Oh yeah.
Is that like you go around that roundabout, and if the queue's just a little bit down, you can't turn around. There's no space to turn around. They've blocked off the opposite side of the road from getting in. You have to use that roundabout. So kind of see if you're sitting in that queue for a half an hour, 40 minutes, you're kind of like, well, I'm already wasted 40 minutes. How much longer will it be? Yeah, because I can see why that might add it to it. But surely by the time it got to the outside roundabout, like if you seen a queue for McDonald's, then you're kind of like, no, because Burger King's just up the road.
Yeah, like it was the same with Krispy Kreme. Like Krispy Kreme closed during the week as well, and I love Krispy Kreme, but I'm not going to go up and wait in a queue for 25 years to get Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, there's like when that first opened, there was like a 2-hour queue when it first opened or something like that, and they had to close it because of noise complaints of people beeping their horn after they got like because they had a drive-through. I imagine that queue was immense for Krispy Kreme.
Oh, definitely!
That was actually insane.
Like I did queue for Krispy Kreme when it first opened.
Yeah.
But I was smart about it. I went up like very, very early. I mean, Krispy Kreme was opening up at like 8 o'clock or something in the morning at that stage. Like I went up maybe about 9.
Yeah.
And the queue was like only maybe about 15, 20 minutes, which wasn't too bad.
No, that's grand.
Like if I walked in there and the queue was fucking crazy, I'm just not going to bother.
Yeah, get tomorrow. But I remember going like I think it was a month after it opened, and it was mental still. Like there was a giant queue in order to get like donuts, and it
was crazy. Like
and they're like you can't sit down and eat. You have to just take them and go. Like so, like in fairness, like 'cause we were only going to like have a try of them, and we bought 2 boxes of 11. So like we got 22 donuts between like 3 of us.
Yeah.
The only thing we had to go home to get coffee.
That's not a 3-person serving of donuts.
No,
That's like a one person serving of donuts.
22 donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, now in fairness, I had like about 8 of them. They are pretty good, but I only have 8 of them because like I bought a back box of 11.
Before Krispy Kreme opened in Ireland, I flew to Glasgow, I think. I was only there for like about 20 hours, and I had 72 donuts.
72 donuts.
Yeah, now like right, this was split between me and 18, like so it wasn't like 72 each, but it was 72 between the two of us.
70. I don't think she'd be too happy to tell people that either. that is insane. That's
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know if I found.
like I went for like we went for one day. Like we went, my friend was fighting over there,
Wait,
so we
you went
went.
for one day? So you had
Yeah,
24 hours to eat 72 donuts.
yeah. Like my friend was fighting, so we flew over. We went to the fight. We flew over. We got donuts. Went to the fight. Came back. Went to sleep. Got up the next day. Flew home.
That is absolutely insane. And you had 72 donuts in that time.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, so when you get over there, was there like a Krispy Kreme near you? Or was it?
Oh yeah. Like when we got over, like there was the bus from the airport to like where the hotel was. It was like a public bus kind of thing. So it stopped at a shopping center, and the shopping center had a massive Krispy Kreme. So we just got off the shopping center and got Krispy Kreme. Like,
Yeah, like, yeah, see, like, you bought, like, did you buy, like, 22, you buy the 11 ones, because you buy them
yeah,
11,
like
or two
in
for price of one, isn't it? Or something like that. You get, like,
yeah, like in England, like they do their things differently. Like sometimes you could get like you can get vouchers if you sign up to like the Krispy Kreme like fan club kind of thing. They'll give you vouchers where you get like free donuts, or you get donuts for a reduced price and stuff. And then when you go in, you get like you can get 12 donuts, and then you get another 12 for like £5 or something. So like that's what we were doing. We just bought a shitload of donuts.
all right, yeah, all right. Grand. And then you just kept going back there and buying more donuts. Yeah. 72 is a lot. Like, that's impressive. That's pretty impressive amount of donuts to get through.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah, like in fairness, I've after having the going to Krispy Kreme, I can see like I never would thought I would eat 8 donuts. Like generally, like if you go to like a shop or a garage, like you might buy a donut. Very rarely do I go, oh, I'll have another one of them. I definitely want to
Yeah.
go, oh, I'd eat 7 more of them easily enough. But like when you have like the box of 11. You're kind of like, they're so good, I can't let them go off. That was my biggest fear. It's like, these can't go stale. If these go stale, they're like, it's like a sin.
The last time I went to Krispy Kreme up in Dublin, I got, what did I get? 24 donuts,
Yeah,
and I had only planned on getting 12.
yeah.
So I got 12, and then I got up to the desk, and your one was like,
You
oh,
upset
it's like,
her. Yeah.
yeah, it's like an extra €6 or whatever. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, give me another 12. And then she's like, oh, just so you know, they last for 48 hours, and if you freeze them, you can freeze them for like 6 months. And I was like, yeah, these aren't going to last 12 hours.
Yeah.
Only 48 hours. Would you go away from me?
Freezing them, like, oh, okay, they stop them from going off, but they definitely ruin the freshness of it.
Oh, yeah, like the glaze and stuff would go all fucked up.
Yeah, like, freezing them, like, is not really worth a fuck.
No.
I'm going to go into our last story here that we have. And it's a bit, it's a bit of a callback. It's about the guy who created the small penis dating app. I think we were talking, I don't know if we were talking about it last week or the week before. Like,
yeah,
all the days are starting to run into each other. I'm nearly certain it was last week, but it could have been the week before. Anyway.
Yeah, it was recently.
Yeah. So basically, the guy who, for people who haven't heard of that podcast, basically the guy who created this app wanted to create an app for guys who had below average sized penises, and he figured that it was about, I think, 14 centimeters, or what is it, 5.5 inches is below average. Is what he reckons. So
Yeah.
now he wants to do one on the opposite side of the spectrum. So he's about to launch a new dating app for lads with above average sized penises, which is anything over the 14 centimeters or the 5.5 inches. So like if you're slightly bigger than 14 centimeters, you can sign up to the big boy one, and if you're below it, you can sign up to
Big boy one.
yeah, that's what
Big boy one.
I think the name of the one is called big ones. No, not big boys. Big
Big
ones.
boys.
Yeah, but like the little the small one is a kind of like dinky one. That's the name of the small penis dating app. It's called the dinky one.
Dinky one.
And apparently they had 70,000 people sign up to it.
The small one.
Yeah, they haven't launched the large one. So the small one had 70,000 people sign up to it.
Jesus.
And they're trying to get their guy who created this was in an interview, and he's like, "What was your feedback of the after launching the dinky one?" And he said mostly it was from men, and he said that men were generally excited about the platform, saying that it was something that had never been done before. So he was asked, like, what about the large one? Apparently, the most of the feedback he gets are mainly from women commentating on the app, saying they're looking forward, or they're looking
Whoops.
for women that are saying now they're looking forward to the app, that they wanted to have a dating app that they already know going into date that the lad has a fairly good sized dick, or at least bigger than 14 centimeters. So,
But like, how do the people running the app know that the person signing up for the app is being truthful?
I imagine you have to. So imagine you have to first get your dick erect, because that's how they measure the the photo. Get a ruler of some sort, or measuring tape of some sort, and take a picture side by side of the measuring tape, in order to verify that your dick is 14. It'd be the only time in history that is actually acceptable to send a dick pic to anybody. If that was the case. Like, why are you signing up for the app? Oh, because I want because my dick is bigger than 14 centimeters. I don't. They haven't. They didn't say exactly how they actually measure that. I imagine that they just let you sign up, and hope that lads are being truthful and upfront about the size of their dick. Now, imagine, since people lie about their general dating profiles, that they're going to lie about the size of their dick.
Oh, 100%.
Like a lot of lads are going to round up on that.
Round up.
I imagine a lot of them aren't going to be like, it's what's the difference between 14 and 16? So yeah, I don't know. I'm be very, very interested to see, like, when the app is launched, which one will have a bigger following.
Yeah.
And the gender difference between people who are signing up for either or.
Yeah, that'd be the most interesting one. Like, see the gender differences between the two profiles.
Yeah. It'd be even weirder for people, men who are looking for men with big dicks. Maybe you have a small dick, but you're trying to find a guy who has a big dick. So does that mean you're not let on it, or so there's weird questions like that, or is it just for straight lads who?
Only you would come up with that like question.
That's why we need to get this founder guy of these dating apps onto the podcast and ask him
There's
the
an idea.
hard hitting questions that everyone wants to know.
The hard questions.
That was an innuendo. Not even me.
Reach out to him there and see if you can get him on.
Surely he's in quarantine like everyone else. So surely he has a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a piss take when I first heard it, like about the Dinky one, because it has a piss take name. Like you have
Is
to,
it actually called the Dinky one?
yeah, it's called the Dinky one, and then it's called the Big one for the larger size one, which is kind of a shit name.
The Dinky one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the like. I don't, obviously, there's 70,000 people that are excited about this dating app launching.
Yeah.
Imagine that they aren't all men, because that'd be a bit weird.
You never know. There might be.
But then it's very hard to find a person that like you're looking for if it's just an all man dating site. You're signing up there to find women and like being truthful about your size of your dick.
Maybe they're all catfishing each other.
I imagine there'd be a lot of catfishing going on there.
Oh, definitely a lot of catfishing going on.
Yeah, like a tremendous amount. Yeah, like it'd be very hard to like verify that it's your dick you're taking a picture of.
Yeah.
I don't. If you have to send a dick pic in order to verify, it is also a strange thing in general. It seems like a piss take.
Who else would you be taking a picture of?
You could probably find larger ones, depending on what you want. Like, which one you want to be on. You could probably find a picture on the internet of a dick that's that size.
That'd be a very strange thing to be going around doing, though.
Yeah, you definitely want to be using like incognito or one of those like sites that like hide your internet history. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I look forward to like hearing from this this guy about maybe he'll join a group chat on Facebook with us so we can do the podcast.
Yeah, bring him on.
Yeah, we will request. But do you mind joining our group chat and do the podcast with us? We'll delete you after it. We promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've got to our hour of our past podcast done there. So I think we'll leave it at that. Talking about weird dating apps. So I guess we're gonna be for foreseeable future. This is going to be the standard Shite Talk podcast show.
Yeah.
I might do it from different rooms in my house just to change things up.
Do it from the jacks. Do it from wherever.
Very echoey. Do it from the back garden.
If you're still allowed out.
Yeah, if I'm allowed it into the back garden, that is. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Snipers on rooftops looking for people who are less than 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
Taking out lads in the van because they're sitting too close together.
You probably won't be allowed in the van.
Imagine I will.
There'll be a guard in the van saying, "No, sorry, you can't get into the van."
Can't get into 2 meters apart, lads. All the times. You have to sit in the back. Just have a seat.
Yeah, one he is driving and one he is outside.
Yeah, one of beside the van. I should actually, at this point, say to our listeners, if you have any questions that you want us to talk about, things like, or weird questions you want to just ask us, you always want to ask the Shite Talk podcast show, fire them into us, shitetalk@gmail.com, message us on Facebook, tell us in person, but a distance of 2 meters.
You shout them across the room at us.
I think it's 2.2 meters. So 2.2 meters. And all the other ways you can get us do Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on everything. Not TikTok though.
Yeah.
I don't think
don't
we're
know.
on TikTok. We're barely
I
on
don't
either.
think so. Well, we could start doing stupid videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we can't at the minute, but like normally we could.
After coronavirus, Shite
Yeah.
podcast show promises to be on TikTok.
We just put up ridiculous videos of us attempting jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I'm tempting other things. I think jiu-jitsu might come dated. Anyway, so until next time, remember to subscribe where you are. Thanks, Ken, for coming on the podcast and not coming over to my house and giving me coronavirus.
Yeah, and thanks for not giving me coronavirus either.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
Shut up and sit down.